This meeting is being recorded.
So welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards 2020, showcasing the best of British cheeses. I'm Helen Blair from Good Sense Research, and we'll be moderating this session. Today we will be judging the wax cheese with additives, both sweet and savoury class. I'd now like to introduce our two cheese judges, Hero and Chris. Chris, would you like to say a few words?
Hello, my name is Chris Dawson. I'm the senior cheese buyer at Marks & Spencer's. I've been lucky enough to be buying cheese since 2003 and have travelled extensively visiting the best suppliers across the UK and Europe. I've also judged at many competitions, and I'm looking forward to finding the best additive cheese today.
And Hero, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, I'm Hero Hirsch. I'm the head of retail at Paxton & Whitfield, so responsible for the 3 cheese counters that they have. I have judged at several other awards, but this is my first time judging the Virtual Cheese Awards, so yeah, looking forward to trying some great cheeses.
So the judges will be using a point system for scoring against 5 key attributes, and the winner will be the cheese that has the most points at the end, and will go forward to the best of the category stage. The attributes that we're scoring on are appearance, aroma, texture, flavour, and true to character. And the scores are out of 10 for each of those. So the first entry number is D41031.
Lovely. So mine is a fairly even orange waxing, not too much dripping. I should say these are cheeses with additives, and we're not sure at this stage what the additives are. So there's going to be some surprises as we go through.
Again, I'd say my wax structure here is probably slightly more uneven than the one that Hero has. I've got quite a bit of dripping around the outside. So for that reason, I would score appearance down, from my perspective, to a 6.5.
6.5, yeah. I would say mine's more on the sort of 7.5. Perhaps we should compromise at 7. Yeah. If we've got different samples in front of us. Then aroma wise, it's quite subtle. I'm still not clear from the aroma what the additive is. I think perhaps it's sort of in the garlic or herb area.
Yeah, I'd say it's quite subtle. You know, normally garlic would be stronger. So it's got a few flecks running through the texture. So yeah, not
an orange wax, no clues from that.
Not at the moment. So aroma 6, because I'm really not getting very much.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's not much to kind of clues in the aroma. And then texture wise, it's a very, very soft spreadable one, isn't it, this?
Very soft, high moisture, very spreadable.
Yeah.
Did you say 6 for the aroma?
Yes, we did. Is it mustard?
I'm getting horseradish.
Okay, yeah. Yes. Yes. Interesting.
And it could be a bit of mustard. There could be some mustard, but certainly I'm getting that sort of heat from.
I think whether it's mustard or horseradish, I might expect to know more instantly. Sorry, have we done texture, Helen?
No, we haven't.
I find that very, very soft texture. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't expecting that, but it's hard to know what to expect when you've had all of the labels and stuff removed on these as to what style to expect inside.
I think it's probably, it feels to me as too soft, almost like a 6 in terms of texture.
Yeah.
And 6 would be tops for me there. It's
5.5,
very
I think, is
5.5,
actually
yeah.
generous. Flavour wise, I think I just expected a little more to it. It's quite restrained, and the additives is really very subtle.
I'm thinking top six for flavour.
Yeah, I think 6 is fine. And then true to character, maybe 6.5. Yeah, 6.
I'll go with 6. I think it's.
Let's go with 6.
It's pleasant, but it's not.
Yeah, I think
memorable.
if I were making this cheese and wanted it to score higher, I'd probably be looking to kind of really ramp up the flavour and maybe consider some of those texture points.
And it is a fine balance, because it's very easy to go from too little flavour to too much. So it's a fine judgment call.
Mm.
What was the true to character score in the end?
6.
6.
That's what I thought. Sorry.
Now, this one looks very, very lumpy from the outside. I don't know if yours does as well, Chris.
It does, yes, very lumpy.
And oh.
Yeah, for me, in terms of appearance, I would go with a 5 for appearance.
Yeah, definitely the finishing, it doesn't quite have the same sort of smooth appearance as some of the other wax that we've looked at.
It looks rough and ready, which is a shame.
Yeah. And then aroma.
Sort of savoury, meaty.
Yes, it's sort of almost like a meaty, vegetable-y. I wonder what this additive is. Aroma. I'd be probably looking around a 6.
Yeah, no more.
Yeah.
6, definitely.
And texture, the texture looks very unusual. It's sort of like, you can tell from the outside where it's got that lumpy bumpiness, that it does have quite a kind of coarse curd texture.
Yes, I've got very open, coarse. Probably it doesn't look as though it's been particularly well made or well pressed.
It doesn't look.
It almost looks as though the curd hasn't been allowed to develop before it's been extruded.
Sure. So I think texture-wise, we're probably going like a 5, aren't we?
Yes.
What's the flavour like?
Again, it's not particularly. It feels like it's not particularly well. It's not particularly consistent or well integrated. That the additive and the cheese are not particularly well integrated, to my mind.
Slightly a hint of smoke. I'm not sure it is smoked, but it just has that.
I can't say that it's immediately obvious to me what the additive is.
No, I'm saying
it feels a bit like paprika-y or.
Yeah, paprika, I think, could be along those lines.
Or like a red pepper.
It's not a flavour that I've read it. I've wished to go back for more, unfortunately.
No, and I think it doesn't feel very well integrated in terms of the additive to the cheese. I think flavour-wise, for me, this sits around the 5.
Yeah, absolutely, and true to type 5 as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's a great cheese today.
Next one's D41075.
Okay, so we've got a sort of ivory wax on this. What do you think is going to be in this one? I'm wondering if it'll be some sort of truffle or something. Just going to get that last one on.
I think the appearance for me is certainly better than the previous one.
Absolutely.
It's less bumpy, but it's still not, I think, as high execution in terms of presentation than I would be looking for.
The wax is nice and thin. It's not sort of an overly thick wax to get through.
No, it's just wax. I would be tempted to give it around the 7.
Yeah, I'd be happy with a 7.
That's the same as the first one, is that?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah. Cool.
And aroma-wise, I think this is probably the nicest aroma of the ones you've had so far. It's something quite sort of garlicky about it, or sort of peppery.
I think you've hit it there. Garlic and pepper, it tastes like.
So we've done appearance, aroma, maybe a 6.5, a 7.
I think 7.
Yeah.
It's certainly the best aroma so far.
Yeah, definitely. And then texture-wise, just, squidge. It feels quite grainy.
Yes, I would agree. It's, the cheese here hasn't really blended together. It feels quite fractured.
Mm. Yeah, it's actually quite grainy in mouthfeel as well.
So 5.5 for texture?
Yes, I think so. And flavour-wise, whereas I think the first one was very subtle, this one is not.
I'm inclined to go 6.5.
Yep, for flavour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. Definitely the garlic feels a little bit, there's like a bit of too much heat and rawness to it to go any higher than that.
What score is that?
6.5.
6.5 for flavour.
Okay.
And then in terms of true to type, you're probably going around 6.5.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Did you want to go for 6 or 6.5? 6.5.
6.5.
6.5.
6.5 on true to type.
And the next one is D41076.
Okay. I have another one which is not very even on the finish, a Burgundy Wax, so not sure what to expect in here. Ooh. The wax is thin, so appearance-wise, what do we think, like a 7?
Yeah, I'd give it no more than 7. I've got quite a few lumpy bits and some dripping bits. So maybe
less
6.5.
Yeah, 6.5. Aroma. It's very subtle.
It's almost like fresh curd.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I think most of quite often these tend to be cheddar, but I'm not convinced that this one is. It's almost like sort of like a cake mix, like a cookie dough.
It is certainly wet, crumbly.
So
what do we
aroma,
say for aroma? It's
perhaps a 6. I'm not getting it. Sorry, I'll be led by you, I think, a little bit on the aroma. I'm not getting a huge amount to it.
I would say it's virtually nothing. I think I go 5.
Okay, yeah, fine.
I just think now it could be that's the intention, but it's difficult. It's just nothing there to get excited about.
Agreed. And texture, this one has a very interesting texture. It's almost sort of sandy, isn't it? It's very spreadable, slightly grainy, just very, very small little curd lumps through this.
Again, I think at 5 here. I'm just not getting a feeling that it's a great cheese inside.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think texture-wise, I would agree. Certainly, it's I don't know where that texture would, where you would want that texture.
It's just very, very spreadable. You know, it's just literally spreadable crumb.
And then flavour-wise, have you any idea what the additive is, or what the?
I'm not guessing. I'm not seeing any additive. And I'm not getting any real clear messages of what the additive is. It's slightly sweet.
It is something sweet. I wondered if it was like, I don't know, chocolate or...
I think because it's so subtle, I'm actually getting a bit of the wax flavour coming through onto the cheese.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I wonder if maybe you really need to know what it is to appreciate it a bit more, because as it is, I'm finding it difficult to appreciate.
I always believe when you're tasting additive cheese, you should do it blind, and you should be able to tell the flavour blind tasting.
I think with that framework, we're not necessarily getting that from this.
No, I think it's a bit underwhelming. I'm not sure as a customer, if I bought this, that I'd rush back to buy a second piece, or I'd think, well, what have I actually bought here? So for me, I'm thinking 5 at tops.
I think a 5. Yeah, it would be the tops.
And then true to
type, I would say 5 as well.
Yeah, I agree.
So now we have a very different style of cheese.
This is D41098.
Yes.
Oh yes, very different. This one looks different to everything else in the category, in fact. In that we don't have some, a small truckle which is surrounded by wax, but rather a slice from a larger cheese. Appearance-wise, it's the additive is very evenly spread through the cheese. I have some concerns about the discoloration by the rind on mine.
Yeah, it's got quite a thick shadow on the edge.
Yeah, which it's more pronounced on one side than the other, unusually on my sample. But
although the coat does look quite thin at the top of the cheese.
It does. Yeah, and I quite like the fact that the additive isn't so small that you can't sort of tell that it's like a herb So appearance wise, where would we go? Like a 7.5? Is that a bit generous?
I'm inclined to go more 6.5. I think almost it just looks as though there's too much going on there.
Right.
You know, it's I'd be interested to try it in terms of it. I just think, and what am I about to read in terms of appearance? It could be really, really intense, really strong.
Okay, well, I'd be comfortable with a 6.5. I think I was probably going 7 in terms of overall appearance in the category. And then aroma, it is quite pungent. There's quite a bit going on there. I'm expecting something quite...
It's almost slightly cow's tail. You know, it's like walking into a farmyard.
Yeah.
Just when they're milking, or it's a very pungent. It's something that I suspect it's a Marmite cheese. You either love this flavour or it's just not for you. It's just too strong. So aroma is a difficult one. If you like it, you'll love it. If you don't, it's not your cup of tea. It's
I think looking at the category overall and the aromas that we've judged overall, I'd say it's probably for me like a 6.5 or a 7.
I would go 6.5.
Yeah,
I think I'm thinking about aroma. Yes, you want aroma, but you want it in balance, and I'm just not sure about this one. So 6.5.
Texture. I think the texture is okay. I don't think we've got an extruded cheese here. This has been, made with the additive in rather than kind of re-milled and had that added. So
it's probably slightly softer than I expected. I thought it might be slightly firmer in texture, so it's probably quite high moisture and probably quite young.
I like the texture though. It's got a bit of springiness to it.
7. That we've got a category in 15 minutes, so
okay. 7. And then
7.
Flavor wise, it's really delivering quite a lot of like herb.
I'm finding it too strong in flavour and not enough balance there.
I think within this category, it's probably the best flavour we've had so far.
It's certainly the most pronounced flavour.
Sorry?
The highest score was 6.5 so far.
I think 7 in terms of flavour.
Yep.
Yep.
And then true to character, maybe also a 7?
Yep, that's fine.
Yep.
Okay. And the next one's D41110.
Okay, so we've got black wax. Mine looks fairly well finished, not lots of drippy edges.
What number? 1193.
Oh.
D41132. No, D41110.
D41110. Yeah.
Yeah.
So black wax, mine looks fairly well finished, no rough edges. How about yours, Chris?
Mine's a bit uneven. It looks as though it's been dropped at some point. And I've got the dribble marks down the side.
Okay. We're thinking maybe a 6.5?
Yes.
Yeah. And then aroma. It's quite It's going to sound stupid if I say it's quite cheesy.
Cheesy, and you've got that sort of chili heat coming from it.
I was expecting more additive on the nose and got mostly cheese. What are we saying? Like where does this fit with the others? 6.5, yeah.
Although that looks a bit high compared to the previous one, probably a 6.
6 then, sure. And then texture-wise, we have that kind of squidgy, almost spreadable texture, but not as soft as some of those that have come before. It's very smooth textured.
6.
Yep, 6. In terms of flavour,
it's certainly got chili character.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not too hot.
It's not too hot. It's definitely.
I think I think there's a nice blend of chili through there. You can certainly see it. You've got some small particulates. You've got some bigger particulates. You certainly know that you're eating chili here. Yeah,
but I actually do think that the flavour is quite nicely integrated with the cheese. So I think I would score that. Not dissimilar to the last one.
7.
7.
Yeah. And then in terms of character, probably a 6.5.
Yeah, that is right.
And the next one is D41132.
Okay, so a yellow wax, no clues.
Again, mine's a bit lopsided in terms of its appearance. I've got a bit of an edge around the top.
Yeah, I have a quite uneven waxing. So maybe that's a 5.5.
Yes.
And then aroma. Still not quite sure what's in here, but
it's almost like a sweet pickle on the nose.
Like a pickled onion?
Yes. So I think in terms of aroma, 6.
6, yeah. Texture-wise, we've again got a very squidgy,
soft and
very
squidgy,
smooth paste here with a little bit of chunks of something. Maybe it is pickled onion. So texture-wise,
I think it's too soft, too squidgy.
It is.
I prefer a slightly firmer body. It's
Agreed. Yeah. So 5.5.
Yeah.
Texture-wise, and a flavour, I'm pretty confident at this stage that it is a pickled onion in there.
6.5.
Yeah, I think that's generous.
Okay, let's go for 6. And then true to type, you're talking anywhere between 5.5 and 6.
Yeah, I think so.
So 5.5?
Sure.
Sorry, just on that, what was the texture score?
Texture was 5.5.
5.5, and it was 5.5 for true to character as well.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So the next one is D41186.
Okie dokie. So got white wax, feels quite solid actually, this one.
It's quite difficult to cut into.
Oh yes.
I think presentation wise, one side is perfect, and then the other side is all all over the place.
Yeah, it's where it's kind of dripped off. Yeah, no, I have exactly the same. And the wax is very thick. I mean, it does look like a kind of piece of Christmas cake almost.
I know. I think too thick, really.
I think a little bit. I think if I would bought that, I'd be a little bit upset about how much wax I was buying compared to cheese.
So if we say a five for appearance?
Yes, I think that's probably right. Aroma wise, we've got black truffle.
We have indeed. It's pungent. It's strong.
Yeah, it announces itself immediately, which I guess I would expect. It's not unpleasant. And you can really tell what it is the moment that you open it. So I think I'd be tempted to go with a decent score for aroma.
8.
Yeah. Texture wise, it's soft, it's spreadable. The texture of the truffle itself is a little bit on the crunchy side.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit, just feels a little bit coarse and kind of uneven maybe. Do you want to mark that in texture or flavour?
Let's do texture first.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think it's a better texture than we've seen on some of them.
Definitely.
So I'm inclined towards a 6.
Okay, yeah. And flavour-wise?
I'm almost thinking there's too much truffle.
Yeah, it's really
strong.
dominant, isn't it?
Too strong, out of balance.
And a little bit coarse.
Yeah.
I think to be better, I'd just like it to be a little bit more refined, and perhaps for the cheese to be a little bit more subtle, because it's two quite strong competing flavours in there.
What are we thinking? 6.5 for flavour?
6.5 for flavour, yeah. And then true to character.
You're probably talking around the 7.
Yeah, I was going to say 6.5 or 7 would be about right, considering the other scores we've given it.
Let's go with 6.5.
And the next one's D41193.
Okay, mine has a similar finishing to the last one, so good on one side, quite rough finishing on the other.
Yeah, we gave that a 5. We gave that a 5 for the last one, so I'll give a 5 to this one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Aroma. Struggling a little bit to know what the flavour is, just from the nose. What do you think on aroma out of 10?
Is it maybe a mustard or a whole grain mustard or something? Or I haven't tasted it yet, so
I have. I'm not sure. Perhaps pepper? Can certainly see that it's flecked with something that could be pepper. It's very subtle.
So if we're not clear then about the aroma, we should probably go about 5.5.
Yeah, I think I'm comfortable with that. And then maybe it could be mustard. Texture-wise, again, this one does have a little more body to it than a lot in this category.
So 6.
Yeah, I think 6.
Flavour-wise, I'm not a great fan of this. I just don't
There's something quite bitter,
Yeah.
sort of right there at the front of bitterness. And I'm just not sure that I would expect that in a cheese of this style.
No.
I would expect a little bit more sweetness, I think, up front.
I don't think it's a cheese that you'd rush back to buy a second piece of, which is a shame.
It is a shame. And also that I can't totally put my finger on what it is that's in it.
So if we said flavour, then it's probably about 5.5.
Yeah.
And then in terms of true to type, it would be 5.5.
Yeah.
And we've got the last one to
Just
do.
one final one. It's D4194.
Lovely. We have a heart-shaped red wax cheese.
I think appearance-wise, my cheese is one of the better ones that I've had this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm thinking in terms of a 6.5.
The wax is definitely thicker on this than any of the others that we've had today. But 6.6, 6.5, I think for appearance is fine for me. It is finished like perfectly well.
6.5 is that?
6.5.
6.5.
Aroma.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, and also appearance-wise, we've got some marbling, which is interesting.
I wonder if they blended a bit of cheddar with red Leicester to get that marbling.
Yeah, perhaps.
I think you may have two cheeses in there.
Yeah.
And you either like that or you don't, from a very personal, from a custom perspective. But from an aroma, you certainly know it's chili.
Yeah, definitely. So aroma, it's maybe a 6.5, 7.
6.5, go with.
And then texture-wise, we've got two different textures with that marbling. The solid curd being a bit firmer than the paste, the orange paste.
It's very sweet. And it's very hot.
Yeah, the chili's quite pronounced.
Quite a bite to it.
One last.
Yeah.
Because I won't get much after that. I think if you wanted a chili cheese, then it was really delivering on that. Sorry, have we done texture? We haven't, have we?
No, we haven't. We haven't done texture, so it's probably a 6.5.
Yes, I'd say so. And then flavor wise, yeah, it delivers on the chili.
I don't think you could eat very much of it. For me, it's far too strong, and
I think it's really overwhelming the cheese, which is a shame because it doesn't seem like I think the cheese was probably judging by the solid lumps of curd. I think it's being overwhelmed by the chili a bit.
I would say 5 for flavour.
Sure.
And then in terms of true to type, I think it comes through as a 6.
Sure.
So that's the final one, and that makes the one with the highest score D41098.
D41098. Was that the totally different?
That's the herb. That's the herby one. The hard, the semi-hard. That's right.
That one.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. And was the truffle one second, or
what number was that? Sorry.
1186, I think.
No, it was D. It was that one was third. No, sorry. The one in second place was D41075. That was the one tried third.
Okay.
So that's garlic and pepper.
Yeah. Are you happy with D41098 going through as the winner?
Yep, I am.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for your moderating, Helen.
Yes,
And thank you, Hero,
All
for
right,
your judging.
No, thank you very much. We'd also like to thank the sponsors of the Judges Pack, South Carnarvon Creameries and Butler's Farmhouse Cheeses for our aprons. We're looking forward to the live event on Friday, the 13th of May, judging the best of the classes in the categories Best English, Irish, Welsh and Scottish cheese, along with recognising the talent and passionate people within the industry. So thank you, Hero and Chris, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good afternoon.